Enter. Alrighty then. We're in. Hey everybody, how's it going?
What's up?
Welcome to the show, another episode of Matt to Matt. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm your host, Matt.
And today we got a wonderful show for you today. We have today, with us in the studio today, the disembodied voice of Joe producing in studio. So welcome to him. This is a new addition. We'd have him on camera, but you wouldn't be able to see him.
Who's Joe? You don't need to know.
He's a source of audio.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
that's
an
right.
acronym. Joe is actually an acronym, which stands for what?
Just on excellence.
There you go. Just on excellence. Thanks so much.
It's like British. They don't say Justin. It's just on.
Because that's a thing. Definitely. That's a thing.
British really is a thing.
In
I swear,
British.
it's across the pond.
Across the pond? That's. I don't think that's British. I don't think that's a PC way of saying that. One sec. Check.
Across the Atlantic Ocean, then, if you will.
There we go. All right. Matt to Matt. Boom, boom, boom. I'm sharing it right now, which I tried to do earlier and didn't work. There we go. So,
God bless you.
I got to test my cough button right there. That was perfect. It was on a sneeze, but it's close enough. All right, and the reins back over to you. So we've got a really fun show for you guys tonight. A couple of different stories. We're gonna try and keep them brief. I always give like a big long list of stories that we're gonna cover, and we cover like one or two because we get so in depth on this show. It's fantastic. You know you love it. So we're gonna start with. We're gonna end with. I'll do that backward. We're gonna end with some talk about the deep state. Am I using that correctly? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, you do the two fingers like that. Some people do it together.
These
like
are
that.
four. There's four fingers here.
I can't.
I know it looks like
camera,
two
I'm
when I
not
do it
sure.
half off out of frame, and I'm like the deep state.
What is it? Japanese people like doing that, right? What? Yeah,
I
deep
don't
state.
know.
Yeah, that's right.
I
yeah.
don't know.
Supposedly, there's people controlling the politicians. Politicians are just puppets, and these people that control the puppet masters work in various agencies that don't have any oversight responsibility. Don't have oversight over them. That's the theory.
Gotcha. So we'll try and get to that as quickly as possible, because I'm sure that's what everyone wants to talk about tonight. But essentially, Vault 7, the WikiLeaks dump of, I think it was 8,000 emails, and they said we haven't even dug through them all yet, so you guys can do that. So we'll get to talking more details about that. But first, we're going to talk about an episode. It's a couple months old. It's not new. It's not actually news, but it's an episode of Adam Ruins Everything, which for some reason rubbed me the wrong way. And I'll share it with you guys, and I'll share why. So, 4.
What? Is it this way is better?
No, that's great.
The
No,
wrong way.
no, it's
What?
4 people, but no chat. So feel free to join the conversation
Yeah, we don't feel loved unless
in
you
the
type
live chat
something.
box. But we're going to not waste as much time as we usually do with the preliminaries, and we're going to get right to our... No, that's not the right thing. Like I said, we're trying something different today. Hey Joe, could you bring up that video I had? Pull that up. Pull that up, Joe.
Yeah, I don't.
There it is. Make that full screen.
What are we starting with?
Okay,
Oh, we're
so
doing this.
here's what we have. This is an episode of Adam Ruins Everything from about 3 months ago, and it's talking about the sinister reason weed is illegal. So.
Like dandelions, right?
Weeds
Oh.
are illegal. This is very poor grammar. Adam ruins everything, including the titles of his own movies, videos. Speaking of ruining things, so just to start, let me say I am not arguing against no wall art Wales. This is a different wall. Amor Pizza just said was complaining the whales are gone from the wall. This is the other side of the room. We didn't have room for our giant disembodied voice over here, so we had to move over to a different wall. And I didn't have time to hang the whales. I was going to, I promise. So
Hang the whales.
hang the whales. Like, sorry. Last week I was like, do they hang whales by the gills? Whales don't have gills. They breathe through their blowhole. So it's funny because I didn't even like look that up, or somebody corrected me. Just afterward, I was like, oh wait. Anyway, so if you tuned in last week, we were talking about Bill Nye. And the same rule applies here. I'm not here to argue with Adam from Adam Ruins Everything about his facts being incorrect. The problem is he he leaves out a lot of things, which in my opinion, and feel free to disagree, in my opinion, paints a very dishonest portrait of the topic he's talking about, which he does sometimes. But we're going to talk about this one. So go ahead and pull that up.
Step right up and try
Oh,
Professor
no.
Holcorium's Rejuve.
All you adults always tell us the same thing. Weed's gonna kill us. It's a gateway drug. Vine isn't funny.
Oh, no. For most people, weed is essentially harmless.
Okay, no way, Jose. Look, I know this stuff is a little overboard, but you can't tell kids weed isn't bad.
Of course I can. It's true.
Okay, let me start. This lady's in a lot of his videos, this actress. And here's the number one, probably top reason that I take issue with this video. He makes this school teacher look like a complete idiot. You'll see she
Not
has
a real school teacher.
She has her. I said, look,
right.
He makes this dumb school teacher that he happened to wander into her school, and this poor lady got caught on camera. This actress literally has her mouth hanging open for most of the video. So there's this high school student in the corner. And
Very
then
ripped jeans.
he in front of her is saying, look at your dumb teacher. She thinks weed is bad for you. And she said, you can't tell kids weed is bad. Sure I can. Because it's not. What's up? Keep going.
And we've known it for decades. Counting deaths from the substance alone, alcohol kills 88,000 people a year. Tobacco kills 480,000. And marijuana kills absolutely no one.
Those are very nice round numbers. That's convenient.
Especially the one for weed is a very nice round number. I know, it's interesting.
I love that.
Oh, wait, we missed one, so it's 1,001. Anyway, so I think this is a really dumb argument that people use a lot. Factually, it's correct. It's true. People don't actually die from the use of cannabis. 26. It changed. People don't actually die from the use of weed, is what he's saying. But it's the same as the argument, guns don't kill.
No one.
Absolutely no one. Thank you. It's the same as the argument, guns don't kill people, people kill people, which a lot of people think that's a very succinct way of making a specific point, but a lot of people don't like it because they think it's semantics. Sure, we weren't saying guns kill people. We were saying people kill people with guns, but we just said it. We didn't feel like picking it apart. Essentially, he's doing the exact same thing where he's like, well, weed doesn't kill anybody directly, which, like I said, I'm not going to argue with it. It's factually true, but it's a little bit dishonest. Perfectly harmless. Keep going.
According to curriculum, marijuana can get you hooked on harder substances. It's a gateway drug.
Yeah, educators have been saying that for years, but it's not true. Most people who try marijuana don't even continue smoking marijuana.
Hey, there's a source.
I brought this up. He has a lot of sources. Like I said,
Source.
his facts aren't wrong. They're just they're put forth in an interesting way. Feel free to disagree. I don't think that his argument has anything to do with it being a gateway drug. Right? To say it doesn't lead to harder substances, it doesn't even lead to itself, is what he's saying. Most people try it, they don't even try it a second time. That's not what they're talking about with a gateway drug.
If they're talking about drug use, then wouldn't you agree that people are more likely in general to try smoking weed than to try smoking crack or to try some other drug, right?
Most likely.
Right, so they would take that. Man, I'm making all sorts of assumptions here, but they would probably smoke pot before they would do those other things, right? Yes. Okay, so if they're not willing to do the lighter stuff first, after trying the lighter stuff, then why would they go on to try something else?
Wait, are you implying that everyone who smokes weed is the same kind of people who then go on and smoke?
Oh, sorry, did
crack
I not make that clear enough?
No.
Everyone who smokes weed goes on to smoke crack. Sorry, that was my point. No, what are you saying? Of course I'm not implying it. Like, I'm not trying to say that.
Well, that's what it sounded like you were saying. My understanding of it being a gateway drug is saying people who get hooked on the very addictive marijuana.
With an H.
Marijuana.
Phonics.
Which is Mary Jane. Mary Jane in Spanish, by the way. Marijuana. people who get hooked on it then move on to other things the same way like people who drink a lot end up drinking too much. He's not saying, somebody takes a drink, they decide they don't like alcohol, so therefore becoming an alcoholic isn't a thing. Like it seems like that silly of an argument.
Play it again. I disagree with that.
You don't even have to you don't have to get addicted to it to try other drugs.
Exactly,
It could
but
just be a fun thing.
exactly. But I think the point of them saying it's gateway is because and yeah, go back like 10, 15 seconds. There you go. We're about to that spot.
Substances. It's a gateway drug.
Yeah, educators have been saying that for years, but it's not true. Most people who try marijuana don't even continue smoking marijuana.
This dude knows what's up.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. No, he loves to play the part, but I'm not that cool. I'm just telling you the facts. Weed's totally okay.
His hair slicked back, though. I respect
But
him.
see, I think that's just a very dismissive way of saying it's not a gateway drug. A lot of people don't even try it a second time. That's not at all what they're talking about. Anyway, so he's like, marijuana's cool.
Now, that doesn't mean that it's perfectly safe.
Dude, I thought you were cool.
Oh, I wish. If you're under 25, smoking weed can lead to memory problems and poor cognitive functioning. But if you're an adult and your brain is finished developing, it's really your choice.
Then why is he in a high school? Because I think if this video is set here and he's talking to the teacher and he's talking to the student, he should be bringing up, by the way, kids, this is why you don't smoke weed yet. But what he just said there, those two lines, are the only negative things he says about it this entire time. He's so like pro, it's totally fine, it's no big deal, it's not a problem. When he's talking to a bunch of kids who he just said, at your age, it is a problem.
He's warning them when they're in their
He's not warning
receptive-
them. He's not, though. He put two little caveats in there. Well, I mean, like, if you're under 25, which most people in
What
this
do you
room
think? Any
are.
of those kids want to have their memory damaged or their cognitive abilities impaired? See,
No.
he just said if you
So-
do it when you're this age, you can have your cognitive ability impaired.
So in my opinion, it should be a flip flop of those two of the degrees of this is where, hey, by the way, two lines of it's actually okay if you're over 25 if you understand the what did he just say? He said if you understand the not the dangers, the negative side effects. There's
What?
a word he just said. Go back a tiny bit.
Consequences.
Thank you.
If you're under 25, smoking weed can lead to memory problems and poor cognitive functioning. But if you're an adult and your brain is finished developing, it's really your choice.
It's really your choice. If you're an adult, it's really your choice. He should have spent that much time saying positive things about it. The whole rest of the video should have been, but kids, let me be clear. Do not smoke weed until you're 25. But he's kind of like, oh, by the way, all of you shouldn't even worry about this for another decade. But instead he goes on to say, like, by the way, it's actually totally fine. In fact, keep going. This next line just kills me.
Adam, wrong way. Also, not in a school.
Sorry, I usually only smoke at parties, and I'm rarely invited to them.
I wonder why.
The truth is, if you know the risks and you use it in moderation, weed is no big deal. And in fact, humans have been using it for millennia.
If you know
big
the
deal.
risks and you use it in moderation, it's no big deal.
That seems precise. That's what I really like about it, though. It seems like no big deal. That's a judgment call.
Also, he just told you the risks to what he felt was the proper amount because he doesn't say anything else negative about it. He doesn't bring up any more of the risks. He just said it can lead at your age to memory problems and cognitive impairment.
Well, there
but
are
now that
time
you know
constraints.
all of the risks, it's not really a big deal as long as in moderation. And my thought on this, feel free to jump in, interrupt me. My thought on this is that you could say the same thing about alcohol. You could go into a school and tell kids, as long as you know the risks and you use it in moderation, alcohol's not a big deal. But kids in high school aren't allowed to use alcohol. There's an age limit, right? For good reason. Developing brains, alcohol, it is a big deal. So why would you go to high school, into a high school? He's obviously not in a real high school. But why isn't this set in, like, I don't know,
Might be.
a business? Like, he goes into an office and he's like, hey, guys, you're fresh out of college. By the way, you're now at the age where this is relevant at all.
Because you can't make the high school joke.
Yeah.
Because
He is at a high
he does
school,
it.
bro.
He goes through, 6 minutes of this video. He never makes the high school joke.
this
Sad. Just
is
sad.
the audience that will click on his video. He is self-interested. He's acting in his own interest. I'll bet that video is monetized.
I'm
just saying.
Monetized. I guarantee he has a weed farm opening in California really soon.
He guaranteed it. You heard it here first.
Yeah, no, that's what he's doing. He starts it like, I'm impartial. Next thing you know, he's pedaling, pushing.
I like the way he's delivering the negative part of weed, because
What, in the
that,
2
it's like a
seconds?
little tiny hook. People focus on those little tiny bits. That's the parts they remember. So
You're saying if he nailed it home, people would start tuning it out? If he drove it home, but if he like
people
rammed on it and beat it like a dead horse, it's
people
bad,
do
it's
that
bad,
at
it's bad, it's bad.
school all the time. And
That's very
mean-
that's very true. I can
Yeah.
totally see that side of the argument.
Huh. Curious.
I don't know what that is.
Aliens trying
sounds
to contact
like
us.
it sounds like what do you call it? Space invaders. Like,
It's exactly what it is. It's Space Invaders.
How much more do we have on here?
I can
Or
understand
is that
a
all you
lot.
wanted?
No, I only wanted to go into like the next couple of bits, but
Oh, all right.
but yeah, essentially that's all he says about the negative the negative side effects of it. And I think my problem in a nutshell, let me sum up.
What's your problem, Matt?
My problem with this video is I think he focuses too much on the positive parts of it. He goes into like the history of it, which again, I'm not going to argue his historical facts or whatever about why it was made illegal in the first place, and which is interesting because he says after the prohibition was over, these people who like the government entities who were like fighting these bootleggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, bootleggers had nothing to do, and so they didn't want their things shut down. So they're like, what are we going to demonize next? And so they started fighting marijuana because of that. That's speculation.
Huh.
Which sounds interesting, you know. Oh no, we won the war. We have gay marriage. Now what do we do? Trans rights. Oh well, no. Caitlyn Jenner's popular. Now what do we do? 76 genders. You know, it's like you might be onto something there, Adam. People might feel that they run out of relevance and they start making things up. Yeah, like I said, he goes into the history here, and I have no problem with the rest of the video, which is why I think we're going to stop right here. My problem is that he doesn't bring up the possible negative side effects. Let me grab this real quick. Thank you, Joe. Let me look this up because specifically, can you Google NPR?
What's that?
Let's see. Effects of weed on adolescents. I came across this today, funnily enough. And this is an NPR article, which is fairly left leaning and is kind of the kind of people who are actually kind of pro legalization of marijuana. And it talks about how it hurts the teen brain, and his two dismissive remarks impairs cognitive function over here. Let's see. Go down to where it talks about IQ points. There we go. In one study. Go ahead and pull that up, Joe. So they're talking about the effects of marijuana on youth, which is essentially what he just dismissively told you in 2 lines. In one study, researchers from Duke University analyzed data gathered over many years from people living in New Zealand. They compared IQs in childhood through age 38 among marijuana users and non-users. It says, we found that people who began using marijuana in their teenage years and then continued to use marijuana for many years, lost about 8 IQ points from childhood to adulthood. Whereas those who never used marijuana did not lose any IQ points, which is not typical. You don't typically lose IQ points. Like, how hard would it have been for him to throw that in there as well? It could lead to cognitive impairment, such as loss of up to 8 IQ points. But now that you know the risks, you use it in moderation when you're 25. Like, that's my problem. He just dismissed these quite negative. 8 IQ points is a big deal. If you're like 105, which I think is around the national average, I forget, the national mean, very different thing. it's like 105. Like, it bumps you under 100. Like, that's a big deal. This article does go on to say it's possible that people who smoke weed have a lower IQ in the first place and more of a propensity to lose IQ, which I don't think they meant it that way. But they said there's probably a connection of causes between both of them rather than one being the cause of the other. They're just correlated in the same people. People who smoke weed are also lower IQ or lose IQ or something like that. So anyway, I'd go through and I'd read all the points, but I don't want to spend way too much time on that. Where are we doing? Let's have a quick look at this. May as well bring in Bill Nye. Thanks, Amor Pizza. Yeah, I know. I was trying to find a video from him on this, but I didn't actually. I'm sure there's one out there, and I'm sure it's very well. His points are very well argued because, I mean, weed is just, it's something that grows in nature, and let's just celebrate that we're all here. Bill Nye, he's got some great arguments.
That's the new meme.
National IQ between 90 and 100 in USA.
What's this article here?
Bring that up. Bring that up. Hold on.
To you that we should pull up. Marijuana increases your IQ.
Say what
to a new
now?
Study?
Say what now? Sorry, the link's in my Facebook, which I think I have a Facebook window open over here as well. Yeah,
Step right.
Step right up. I have to say, those Adam Ruins Everything videos, actually, they do a pretty good job of being entertaining. And the actors and stuff and they have them are pretty good. So, so there's that to go along with the dismissive and dangerous. All right, pull that up. Let's have a quick skim of that and see what it says. What's it saying here? All right, in a single study that could produce. Hold on a sec. Nope. My bad. This screen. In a single study. What happened there? 1 second. Why are you doing this to me? One moment, please. There we go. Now I can see much better. Let's see. As the study concluded, we'll start here. Current marijuana use had a negative effect on global IQ score only in subjects who smoked 5 or more joints per week, so more or less daily. A negative effect was not observed among subjects who had previously been heavy users but were no longer using the substance. We concluded that marijuana does not have a long-term negative impact on global intelligence. Wait. They just said it does if you keep using it, but if you stop for a while, it no longer does anymore. So,
I wonder what they were on when they wrote this. This was number 1 on Google's results, though.
Shrooms, probably. I was actually looking today. There's a couple articles. There was one on Mike.com that was talking about how, shrooms might actually treat depression and anxiety better than antidepressants.
Curious. Interesting.
Yeah, and in fact, there are no negative side effects to mushrooms. In fact, most people who take magic mushrooms, we're not talking about your garden variety, magic mushrooms, hallucinogens, the ones with the psilocybin in them, they say that people who do that typically have a positive experience and say that they would, do it again. It was in a study. There were 4 other articles I read saying that half the time it can have that effect, and another half the time, I think might have to be clicked.
What, they have terrifying night visions?
Oh, here we go. Just tap escape. Sorry. This is our first time.
We have like 12 screens down here, so.
This is our first time. Try that again, Joe. Oh, it's magic. All right. Now I get it. Which one's this? Were you trying to bring this up? Oh, you were sorry. You were tapping keys. Sorry. We'll get this down. So yeah, apparently the next thing they're gonna do is try and legalize magic mushrooms or use them as antidepressants. But like I said, those 4 other studies said that they can actually increase anxiety and depression. Just depends on the person. So maybe
you're stressing me out. What you're
maybe
saying
not.
stressing me out.
Maybe not the best users. So keep that off your pizza. So all I'm saying. Don't use. Thanks. I appreciate that. The disembodied voice of Joe thinks that's funny. I appreciate it.
I actually like mushrooms on my pizza.
I like mushrooms too, which makes me really sad. There's all this negativity about some kinds of mushrooms. There are there's actually
There's a lot of studies on consciousness that are starting to involve like LSD.
What was that?
So studies of consciousness, exploring that with drugs like LSD.
Yeah, I've actually heard Joe Rogan on his podcast talk at length with a lot of his guests about this. It seems like stand-up comedians. He always brings them on, and he talks to a lot of stand-up comedians. Joe Rogan's a stand-up comedian. He talks to all kinds of people. He talks to Neil deGrasse Tyson, for example. But he brings on these stand-up comics, and it seems like all stand-up comics, eventually the conversation gets around to psychotropic drugs, and every one of them goes like, it's weird because he kind of touches on it lightly, and he's just like, there's the psychedelic drugs, the positive ones, that he kind of like tiptoes around it a bit, and then once he's just like, like ayahuasca, the person's like, oh yeah, ayahuasca, I love that, and then there's suddenly he's like, okay, you're that kind of person, and they just go in depth about these psychedelic drugs and these experiences and how it's like a waking dream, and it's a good thing, and it helps you and apparently there's a lot of people who think that's good for your brain and it calms your ego and what is it?
No, nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, you're bored and you're on Reddit. What is this?
No, I'm not on Reddit, bro.
No, yeah. Anyway, so that's probably where we're going to end the discussion about Mary Jane and magic mushrooms. But there's like we were saying, like I was saying, after the prohibition is over on marijuana, what are the pro marijuana people going to be like pushing next?
Oh my gosh,
we have to have something to put on a sign and say legalize it. It's fine. Mushrooms might be next. I don't know.
They might just retreat into their basements.
What do you guys think? Tell us in the chat, all 5 of you.
It's what Daniel Tosh says. He's like, and he was doing a stand up routine in Cali. He's like, I really want pot legalized. Yeah, California crowd. Yeah. So finally, those stoners will have nothing to talk about.
That is so true. There are, I think, maybe only 2 people on my Facebook who are adamantly pro marijuana
Keep doing
legalization.
this. It's making me uncomfortable,
Trump.
Matt.
I keep doing the Trump thing. Like they say,
okay.
this is Trump. This is Trump. This is Gary Johnson. This is Trump. This is Gary. Anyway, who just all they post is another doctor who found out that weed cures cancer was found in a river. The government's trying to cover, and like that's all they post. Yeah, and I'm like,
That's deep.
I don't see that. Oh, hopefully it was deep. Must not have been because they found him. Anyway, thanks. So yeah, there are those people who are very adamant, and I think we were talking about this earlier. Once it's legalized, there's going to be all the other fights that come with the government then running the industry, and
I agree with that actually.
We were talking about how these people who grow weed illegally aren't going to be able to do it the way they're doing it now. Just because it's suddenly legal, they can't just go, oh yeah, I grow it in my closet and in my backyard, my greenhouse, whatever. The government's going to be, okay, well, you need a permit for that, and you need to have the place has to be so many miles from a school zone, or it has to, and they're going to regulate it to death. And trust me, people are going to have a harder time when it's legal growing it and getting it than when it's illegal. Just watch. So that's going to be the next fight. Everybody's going to freak out because the government got too much into it.
That's interesting though, because a lot of the bills that have legalized pot in different states have included, like Oregon. I don't know what the number is, but like you can grow 3 plants, right? That was part of the bill that legalized. That brought it into
was that statewide or national? Was that federal government or state government?
I see what you're saying. No, okay.
It was state government, wasn't it? Yeah,
that's right.
I'm telling you, the township, the city, the county, the state. The farther out you get, the more regulation they put on you. It's the weirdest thing ever.
What? The farther you are from what you're regulating, the more regulations you're tempted to put on it.
The way it should work in my very well-educated years of experience, the way it should work is the person who has the most control and regulatory influence in your life should be the most local government, and it should obviously get smaller and smaller as the government. The federal government should have very little, if any, effect on your life. The kind of things that they regulate now should be regulated by your state and your township, because then they know. It's like the federal government going like, you can only have 4 trash cans out by your curb. Like, your township handles that. They should handle everything else like that.
See, I think that may be a good segue to our next segment, though, because the reason for that would be, I believe, one of the strongest arguments for why we should have the localist government be providing this direction would be because they have the most information on its, residents, right? The city knows more about its residents than do the state, and the county knows more about its residents than do the federal government. But with recent developments we've been seeing, perhaps the federal government may be having more information than those other groups. And what could be bringing that about, do you think? Are we sending carrier pigeons out with everything that we're doing every day? Or?
I'm just saying it's trickle down regulation.
Up?
It's trickle down regulation.
Wait a second.
Where all this money gets sent to the government and eventually it comes back to you in the form of some government program. But so much is lost along the way.
I like it.
Trickle down, yeah. It all goes to
Better
these
than
big,
trickle out to
these
space.
big corporations.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we landed something on Mars. Cool.
All right, so you were saying, moving into our next topic. That's all I want. That's all we want to say about anything to add. Disembodied voice of Joe about weed or.
Well, it's kind of far out.
Hey, far out, dude.
Yeah, the talk of weed.
He wasn't even going for that. What do you have to say, disembodied voice of Joe?
I was just gonna say they found a lost satellite orbiting the moon.
What?
Was it
Who
ours?
found it?
No, it was at India's.
Oh, I meant like Earth's.
What was lost about it?
They didn't know where it was.
It was orbiting the moon?
Yeah.
What? What does that have to do with?
Have they looked there for
Mars.
flight? Oh, what flight was it? 237,
seven.
the Malaysian flight that went disappear. Did they look? Did they check behind the moon?
Oh my goodness.
They might have, caught
like 10
a wind.
continents, man.
They might have caught a wind and just started orbiting. How's the chat, Matt? By the way, that's your.
What,
job.
you didn't like that, Andrew? I thought that was kind of clever. I thought it was like a perfect segue, too. Right?
Andrew says, with recent NSA and CIA revelations, I'm not so sure local government knows more about citizens than the federal. Having more power closer also protects minorities and majorities alike. Absolutely. It's because they know what you need more than,
You do. More than you do.
More than you do. The government knows what you need.
You need these roads. We're going to build these roads. Oh, man, too much. But.
All right.
All right, yeah, so. Oh, man. I'm going to sound.
Where do we start? Tinfoil hats, everyone. Tinfoil. Mine's lined.
Yeah.
My hat. All my hats are lined with tinfoil.
That's
why they crinkle.
I don't know. Where to start?
Just introduce what is it we're talking about? We're talking about Vault 7, which is a WikiLeaks dump of 8,000 emails and documents from where?
The Central Intelligence Agency. So they recently discovered, or I mean, had leaked to them on the inside. If somebody knows more about this than I do, please say something.
Go ahead and send that over. We'll bring that up.
I could. Yeah,
That's WikiLeaks' explanation as to what they did and why. What did you do and why? I just want to point out, this is from WikiLeaks, and love it or hate it, they have yet to have any of the information that they have leaked been proven to be fraudulent.
Squeaky
People
clean.
complain, where'd you get that? That's not fair. You were following me, taking pictures of me when I was going to the motel with other people? How dare you? How dare you invade my privacy? That's not the point. The point is now we know and you're in trouble. But all they want to argue about is, how did you get this information on me? How dare you dig up dirt? So they haven't yet. Does that make any sense?
No, it does.
It
Yeah,
does.
No, it does.
They have yet to go, WikiLeaks, you're wrong. This is false. This is fake. All they ever do is freak out about the fact that we have it.
Real news. This is real news, guys.
You are real news.
No, I mean, it's just 1984. It's legit 1984.
I'm sorry. Wake up. What are you talking about?
All right, you might want to take a big hit. 1984, there's a big screen that watches everything you do, right? Even when you close the stall in the bathroom, there's just things that it tracks your every move, right?
They've
Yeah,
got like
legit, in the book
videos
1984
and microphones when you're like in the bathroom stall that can like see you and hear you. That's so weird.
I just remember in the book
crazy.
1984 when I read it, Winston, the protagonist, he's like, he was going to go in the bathroom stall to read it, but he's like, in places where you might reasonably expect privacy. That was when you knew they were watching. That's when you could be sure that they were like anticipating you would do something that you would want to remain private.
Like right now, like
Yeah,
right now.
I'm talking about a bathroom stall, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, right now the NSA probably switched off the mics and cameras on our phones because we already have mics and cameras on us, so we're doing you a favor. It's break time for them right now. So that, because there's already a record of this in multiple places. Go ahead and pull that up. This is from, what'd you just send over? This is from WikiLeaks
Yeah, it's
page,
the
right?
WikiLeaks summary of it, executive summary of it, basically. 2 days ago.
All right, well
It's
then.
2 days old. Sorry to cover such old news, guys.
Oh, it's old news, man. Let's bring this up
Yes,
for a second.
I mean, there's they call it year zero. There's different.
So this is the first
technologies.
dump of this, of more. Apparently they have more. And I'm just go ahead and read this first part. This is, it says, today, Tuesday, March 7th, 2017, WikiLeaks began its new series of leaks on the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, codenamed Vault 7 by WikiLeaks. It is the largest ever publication of confidential documents on the agency. In the first full part of the series, Year Zero comprises 8,761 documents and files from an isolated, high-security network situated inside the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence in Langley, Virginia. That's a big deal. It follows an introductory disclosure last month of CIA targeting French political parties and candidates in the lead-up to the 2012 presidential election. Whew. Recently, the CIA lost control of the majority of its hacking arsenal, including malware, viruses, trojans, weaponized zero-day exploits, malware, remote control systems, and associated documents. Sorry, that just sounds wrong. It
What?
shouldn't, but it sounds wrong. The CIA's hacking arsenal, including the CIA's malware, viruses, trojans, and weaponized zero-day exploits. Zero-day, I think they'll probably talk about this later. Maybe not. Zero-day just means that it's like a built-in security hole in like Android and iPhones, where the way they're manufactured, the CIA has figured out a way to get inside any and every one because of the way it's built. And they were supposed.
Oh, is that like common?
They
Is
were
that
supposed-
common language, 0 day.
Yeah, that's
I didn't know that.
yeah. I don't know why. That's why it's in quotes. A 0 day. That's an expression. It's not in these next couple paragraphs. So, essentially, they said that they were going to on an ongoing basis. They were going to, when they found these,
I know.
when they
can
found these,
write several 100 million lines of code, but they can't get healthcare.gov running.
they weren't trying. They were sleeping. Oh, we'll get that later. We got like a month.
All
We'll
right.
do it tomorrow. It isn't due till the day after. But what was I saying? They were supposed to disclose these to like Samsung and to Google and to Apple and say, oh, by the way, we found this hole in the thing. You should plug it. They said they would do that. They didn't do that. They left these open. The biggest problem is that now that other people have and got a hold of these malware, viruses, and trojans, it means not only can the CIA get into any Android phone and any iPhone, now anyone else can who has these the information of these
Which is why they were careful
zero-day
not
exploits.
to include the source code.
Of
Right?
course.
I mean,
No.
It's there, like it exists, but it's not
Yeah.
It's not out for every teenage hacker out there to use.
All right. So, is this the same thing we're looking at?
Same page.
How
yeah,
far
just
down
down
is
at the facts. It's at the bottom.
All right. Scroll down to the. Oh, down at the bottom.
What? Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was way longer. I assumed they're all 80, 86,
No, I said it's the executive
8,700
summary.
8,700 emails were
Look at
here.
the scroll bar. Come on.
My favorite part of this is, as I forget who put it this way, but they're like, they kind of made a game out of this where they said, we haven't looked through all of them yet, so please do. Go ahead, guys. Anybody who wants to dig through here, if you find some really good stuff, send it to us, and we may have like a job opening for you. Like we may give you stuff ahead of time next time. Like show us how good you are at digging through WikiLeaks documents and pulling stuff out first, and we might outsource to you the digging through next time we release more stuff, so we already have it pre-dug through. Like that's what they're literally saying. Like, hey guys, come on board, come help out with this. Yeah.
They are. I think that they're making that offer. They're saying.
I just said they're making that offer.
Oh,
And then you just agreed with me.
Yeah. All right.
They're literally saying, go do this, and if you do it well, we'll give you more, which is funny and weird and sad at the same time. Okay, yeah, go down to 0 days. Let me look at. Oh, back up a bit. Sorry, up at previous. There we go. CIA hoarded vulnerabilities, quote unquote. 0 days. Okay, this is what I was just talking about. In the wake of Edward Snowden's leaks about the NSA, the U.S. technology industry secured a commitment from the Obama administration. This is what I just was talking about, that the executive would disclose on an ongoing basis rather than hoard serious vulnerabilities, exploits, bugs, or 0 days to Apple, Google, Microsoft, and other US-based manufacturers. Serious vulnerabilities not disclosed to the manufacturers places huge swaths of the population and critical infrastructure at risk to foreign intelligence or cyber criminals who independently discover or hear rumors of the vulnerability. If the CIA can discover such vulnerabilities, so can others. So essentially...
Whoa. PolitiFact says...
Oh no. It says WikiLeaks is discovered to be 100% fraudulent.
Yeah, PolitiFact says that, here's a quote from the Obama administration, "We will strengthen privacy protections for the digital age and will harness the power of technology to hold government and business accountable for violations of personal privacy." So I'm sure
That's the only thing he ever said?
Oh, I'm sure he said many more things, but I'm just
Yeah, it says
riffing here, man.
go scroll back up. It says, or go back to that. It says the Obameter. What does that say? Promise kept.
It's what it says.
Safeguard to privacy.
Thanks,
Is this true?
PolitiFact.
He kept that promise. Here's a promise he did keep, so calm down. Meh, pretty creepy. All right, let me go to the chat real quick. Let's see. Amor Pizza says, this is all disturbing, but if you realize how stupid these people are at actually finding things out, it isn't as worrisome. Andrew has stories, yeah. Check out NewYorkMagazine.com. Michael Hastings. Oh, Michael Hastings. Bring that up. I was debating whether or not to bring that up. We're going to bring it up. Amor Pizza wants it. No. Andrew actually wants this discussed. We'll discuss it real quick. And let's just say, if you've ever seen the movie, if you have not seen the movie Eagle Eye from 2008, right? Was that 9 years ago? This is what the movie was about. It was not to ruin it. If you haven't seen it now, I'm going to ruin it. It was an artificial intelligence running it all. But they had this kind of hacked technology to control any and every piece of technology at that point. And it was pretty much this, what they describe right here in these leaks about what the CIA is doing and can do, was shown in that movie. Particularly the story we're about to read. Did you send that over yet?
Oh, you want the...
Yeah, send that over.
Thing,
We'll bring up the Mike Hastings things. We're
Doogie?
running the same. Yes, thank you, Amor Pizza. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, just right click on this, close, and click back there. By the way, hey, thank you. You can get my attention faster if you want to. Oh man.
Obama.
Yeah, bummer.
Obama.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Hey, I changed the description, so that's fine. There's always something. That's all right. Hey, you know what? This is only episode 4, and we're doing leaps and bounds better than point 1 and point 2. So, are you guys? That's so nice. Are you guys logged in? Amor Pizza and Andrew, are you guys logged in like right next to each other, commenting on separate accounts, watching the stream? Or is Andrew like in an undisclosed location in Langley, Virginia, which I guess wouldn't be undisclosed, like being like, yeah, I know, man. Has to like click away when his coworker walks by. No, hey, how's it going? Click back. Andrew does not work in Langley. All right, let's bring this up. This is where we get real tinfoil hattery. It's we have about 10 minutes left in the stream, so we're gonna get really deep into this right now. Okay, so who killed Michael Hastings? Who did kill Michael Hastings? Do you wanna take this one real quick? No?
By the middle of June, though, Hastings, then 33, had become openly afraid. Helicopters are a common sight in the Hollywood Hills, but he had told Jordana Thigpen What, do you not want me to
I don't
read
know
it?
where we are.
No, that's
You
good.
lost me real fast.
What are we at? Paragraph 3.
Okay.
But he told his neighbor that there were more of them in the sky than usual, and he was certain they were tracking him. On Saturday the 15th, he called Matt Farwell, his writing partner, and said Farwell might be interviewed by the FBI. Farwell was unsettled. He had become really cagey over the phone, which was odd, very odd. On the 17th, Hastings emailed colleagues at BuzzFeed.
Colleagues at
BuzzFeed,
BuzzFeed,
to warn them that, quote, the feds are interviewing my close friends and associates, end quote. He was onto a big story and needed to go off the radar for a bit. Hope to see you all soon. And then they tried to set up a lunch for him to visit. The lunch never happened. At 4:20 a.m. on Tuesday, June 18th, Hastings Silver... Can you find out when the story began, though? But on 4:20 Tuesday, June 18th, Hastings Silver Mercedes C250 Coupe, speeding south on Highland Avenue, crossed Melrose, jumped the median, hit a palm tree, and exploded. Wow.
I don't know.
Okay, and then it was his remains were a bit disfigured, and then they had to do some coroning to find out who the deceased was, which
Wow.
was confirmed to be him.
So
And if you go back to the Vault 7 things, what does it say? As of October 2014, the CIA was also looking at, this is one of the, so that's year 0 is all of these 0-day, I don't know, vulnerabilities, right?
Backdoors.
Backdoors, okay. As of October 2014, the CIA was also looking at infecting the vehicle control systems used by modern cars and trucks, and there's a link I can look at. The purpose of such control is not specified, but it would permit the CIA to engage in nearly undetectable assassinations. Oh, your accelerator's stuck on. You know?
Let me point out, I think, and this is where I get a bit conspiratorial. I think somebody calls Hollywood and says, "Hey, can you make a movie? Call it Eagle Eye or something. Put like Shia LaBeouf in it, so it seems like just this drastic, weird movie. And in the movie, can you have the government robot take control remotely of a guy's car and force the accelerator down by activating the cruise control to make him drive through the intersection when he's trying to stop, so that people think that that's just Hollywood craziness when somebody says, but the government can do that. Really?
2008.
Really? Like an Eagle Eye in 2008? That's Hollywood stuff, man. That's not real. It's not real. I have a weird theory that they go to Hollywood and say, can you put this in a movie so that people don't think it's real when someone else brings it up? It looks like tinfoil hattery because it's like, what, because you saw that in a movie? You know movies aren't real, right?
Does the media have any influence over the way the public thinks?
Does the government have any influence over the way the media, what the media creates? There's that story. I've been meaning. I gotta go look that up. Back when Obama was first put in office, somebody sent Glenn Beck. Talk about tinfoil hattery. Sent Glenn Beck a tape of like a conference call they were on, where one of Obama's advisors was talking to a bunch of figureheads in Hollywood, and was saying, "Okay, so." Obama team's really excited to work with you guys here in Hollywood and at the TV stations to figure out how we can help people understand and we can implement Obama's agenda through the media. And they made it sound like we're going to let you guys help us move America to the next stage. But essentially all they were saying was, you're going to do what we say so people think the way we want them to. It was a bit freaky. But yeah, that's where that idea comes from, because I think there's a lot. I mean, because if you wanted to control the minds of the whole people, where would you go? I would go to like Hollywood and TV and actors, and for some reason people take their advice not only like on the screen but off the screen when they pontificate about things. So
I mean, for what it's worth, this is hyper anecdotal, but it made an impact on me when I was growing up. My mom liked a book. I forget the book name, but it was all about music. It was a pop music and morality. Might have been something along those lines. Author just said, if I wanted to sway a population's opinion, I would be the one thing. Like if I could control one thing. Oh man, I'm off camera with that. If I could control one thing, it would be the music, right? The kind of things that you just like submerge yourself in all the time. And yeah, I mean, media's part of it, and music's part of it, and memes are part of it. So get your memes from us.
Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, Andrew.
I don't know.
If you've ever seen Stargate, there's this episode where a guy who Stargate, if you don't know, Stargate is this covert secret government U.S. operations where they go to other planets through this, it's like Area 51. They found this alien technology, nobody else knows about it. And it pulls the whole Men in Black thing where there's like the battleship over Earth about to blow it up and no one knows but these people. And I think, was it the 10th season or something?
I don't know. I know Stargate. What about
in like the 10th season or something, they apparently a guy who had seen it all, they like wiped his memory or he got amnesia or something, so he didn't remember. Then he went to Hollywood and became a director, and he thinks he wrote this script from like inspiration, but he pretty much just wrote like the whole Stargate, the crew and the missions and the planets and the Stargate itself. He wrote this hokey TV show like Star Trek. And he thought it was all fiction, but it's all fact. And so they start freaking out because suddenly they see this TV show that is an exact replica of what they do. Which, of course, it being a TV show is a really funny,
how deep can we get?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a really funny episode because essentially they just let this thing, they just kind of let the thing go because it helps them. For people to be like, oh, yeah, there's a Stargate. You mean on Wormhole Extreme, that TV show? Is that what you're talking about? Come on, wake up. That's fake. It's TV. Exactly. So I just wanted to point out.
That we didn't talk about mushrooms at all?
We did.
Oh, those mushrooms.
Oh, you're right. That was... Yeah. All right, we may not get to that story. We never get to our third story. I'm so sorry. I try and put 3 and meet them out. But this one's important. I want to bring up that... I hope some people feel really dumb right now who are always saying, you really think there's some flying spaghetti monster in the sky that can see everybody and knows what everyone's doing and can see all the people in the world? I mean, I think the CIA is trying to play God right now so that they can see and keep track of everyone's sins so that they can then judge you all they want to. I'm not saying God is this technologically advanced thing that just can hack all our phones. But for a while, it's been this trope that they're like, really, there's this person who can see you all the time, like Santa Claus. I'm like, no, like the NSA. I'm not saying that's what it is, but technologically advanced, it's possible. I'm just saying, it's possible. How do you know? But anyway, that was... Never mind. Apparently, it was lost on you a little bit.
I think I lost.
Was that lost on you, disembodied voice of Joe?
No.
I wasn't trying to make a logical point. I was drawing up a comparison. I was being silly. Give me a break. Maybe.
No, I think it's perfectly logical that.
Send that over, Joe. Come on. Don't hoard that. What was I saying? What was I just saying? Flying spaghetti monster.
It's perfectly logical to have stuff to use against people. You can blackmail them. They can blackmail if they know they know which things that you do that may be technically illegal or actually illegal, or they know your soft points, vulnerabilities.
Bone. What was his name? Tom Bone, Jim Bone. The guy who asked the really good question and had the little mustache, the glasses, and the sweater. What was his name? Help me out, chat. What was his name? Anybody?
On what?
He was
Where
a
is this
meme.
man?
It was one of the presidential debates. He stood up and asked a question from the audience, and he had this really Pixar, he looked like the store owner from. It wasn't Jim Bone. It wasn't Jim Bone. I got a bunch of pictures of Bones from Rule by Fear. I don't think his name was Rule by Fear. Ken Bone. Yes. Pull up a picture of Ken Bone. Just images right there. Just click images. There you go. Pick a really good one and send it out. There you go.
The red
Grab this one.
shirt guy.
Grab this one. Yeah. Here we go. This guy, Ken Bone, right? He kind of dropped off. He was popular. He was on late night TV and a bunch of things like that. But then somebody hacked his Reddit account. Or found out who he was on Reddit or something like that, and went into the found his comments in these forums of him saying these. I don't even remember. I don't even know what it was, but he was saying things that were embarrassing or inappropriate or something, and then everyone was like, "Oh no, that's who Ken Bone really is," and I don't know who gets their kicks out of you're gonna be on late night TV. Well, I'm gonna show everybody everything you've ever done on Reddit, kind of, and it's or 4chan. I don't know, one of those cool hip websites that you have to be on the inside. Yes, Ken Bone's disturbing Reddit history shows he's not nearly as adorable as we thought. So, yeah, I don't want to get deep into this. I have no idea where that goes. Thank you, but thanks, but no. So that's exactly what you were just saying. That last point, final point I want to make about this is I hear people all the time, and I don't know how many of them are kidding. Some probably are, but I hear people all the time say like the NSA is watching, and it's like I don't know who would want to sit here and watch me play with my kids in the living room. Like I'm sure they don't like watching my boring life. No, they're not watching, right? They're not watching. They're collecting. They're saving. They're putting it on a hard drive. They can literally just set it up to automatically record onto these giant data storage areas. There isn't a person at a desk watching every single webcam in the country. And they said it was because the subtitles. Like on YouTube, you can hit show me the subtitles, and even automatically take that audio and then put it. Final thoughts on that? Anything we didn't say that you wanted to?
I have a final question.
Go for it.
Some people say WikiLeaks is actually like the CIA is WikiLeaks. Like,
so like Leakception?
Yeah. So what do you think is?
So you're saying they pretty much do the eagle eye thing. Where they're like,
WikiLeak
it so that we're like, oh no, you guys now know this? But it's not true. That's why none of them are false, because it's exactly what people want them to. I don't know, maybe. What's happening? Can you look up mushroom paint palette colors, interior decorating? Something about mushrooms and interior decorating. Mushroom paint palette. There you go. So this is our final story. I want to squeeze in here real quick. We got a couple minutes left. There's a story. I forget. Man, I should have saved this. There it is. Country living. Pull that up, Joe. All right. There are 10 unique, gorgeous ways to incorporate the elegant color throughout your home. So, scroll in a bit. Warmer than gray, but cooler than taupe. This neutral, earthy shade is popping up everywhere. Here is how to make the color work in every space. I'm going to assign this as homework. Go ahead and read through it. It's really great. Contrast trim. White walls, mushroom trim. However, flip the script. Dark walls, white woodwork. And then try the reverse. Yep, absolutely. So I'm just saying, I encourage you guys, since everybody's remodeling for the spring, look into mushroom. It's a great color palette. I was on the news the other day, so I figured I'd share it with everybody. Oh, I love these. They put pictures of the paint. You can take that like on your phone or whatever, and their little printer color matchers will like scan that. Is that true? I hear it is. I don't know. That's what I heard. Anyway, so that's our show. Unless, did you have a comment on the, what do you think? What do you think about his question?
I don't think so. I think we're going to hear about Julian Assange crashing his car at 4:20 a.m. into a palm tree one of these days.
Can you imagine being that guy? No. He lives in a tiny room in which consulate? Which consulate? Where does Julian Assange live? Pull that up, Joe.
We're a target now. Now that you said Julian Assange, we're a target. Julian Assange for president of WikiLeaks. What's going on? What? What do you need?
Sorry. No, Andrew says it's been Spycraft 101 for a century that the best way to flip a source is by blackmailing them into giving you info. Now they can do it to anyone they might need. You think you are innocent, but they can get you for anything because there are too many laws. Yep. Security footage of you jaywalking. That's why. Oh, I was like, who's laughing?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Don't act like that's not you. That's why you need to say key phrases randomly throughout your day. No, like I said, I posted on Facebook. It was yesterday. I was like, okay, everybody at 3 p.m. Eastern, just look into your phone camera and go, we know you're...
Could organize it with more than like 1,000
Like I said, no
people.
one's watching. They're recording it.
Right.
So like, if there were people watching and they're like, oh, bring up and then suddenly everyone on their screens going about their day just stops, looks into their phone and goes, we know you're watching. As the CIA, I would be freaked out. Like, who's
You
watching
mean
us
as
right now?
WikiLeaks or?
If I was the CIA,
Right.
if I was key phrases something down if you're ever a target. Exactly. Like honeypot. They used to use what they call a honeypot, where they would send a seductive person to a guy, and then they would like seduce the guy, and then they'd be like, "Ha-ha, we caught you being seduced by a woman that we set you up. Now you have to do what we say," and now they don't need that anymore.
I do want to say, this may seem inconsequential, but there is an interesting. CNN is the only major news outlet that has not yet still produced any articles on the WikiLeaks revelations. So they may
if you
have
cover
some-
your eyes, no one can see you. If we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist.
Oh, I mean, I wonder how many people get their news
Maybe
primarily from CNN.
Maybe they're just freaked out because they're like, "What if it's fake news? We can't afford another hit. We can't afford another hit. What if it's fake news?" I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and just say they're scared. You're welcome, CNN. You're welcome. All right, that was the question I asked. Where does Julian Assange live? Doesn't it say?
We should have shown the video.
Embassy
about,
of Ecuador, London. That's where he lives. He lives in a single room. He just has an internet connection, a laptop, and like a cot or something, and he just lives in there. He's like in prison, but he's like, I'm doing the Lord's work.
What's the Alexa? Sorry, I'm talking. My bad. Shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think Snowden has it better than this guy, and Snowden's like not doing anything right now, except he does.
Are you connected to the CIA? No, I work for...
Why did you mute it? Alexa was about to tell us who she works for. Yeah, if that's not freaky,
That's pretty freaky.
I was gonna tell you, like, people are putting Alexa and Google. What is it? Google.
I'm gonna find it.
Wind?
We gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Video. This video is like.
Google, yeah, the Google Home thing where it's like the Internet of Things. It's like, really? You want to Wi-Fi connect all the electronics in your house so that if someone had control of your like Internet of Things, they could control the lights, the heating, the gas, your stove. Like, you want to do that? I saw a Wi-Fi toaster the other day. A Wi-Fi toaster, not even kidding. Ba-ding.
Let's watch these two videos.
We're gonna watch these two videos.
Please.
What are they? Okay, they're short, right?
Short.
They look pretty
short.
All right, Joe's gonna pull this up real quick while I make this point. My phone and my tablet and my other tablet. I was driving in the car and I went to Google something. And while you're driving, you don't Google with your fingers. You use your voice control, right? So I was like, okay, Google. 3 devices all turned on. We're just like, yeah. Which means all 3 of my devices were listening to me actively, everything I said, and going, did he say okay, Google? Not yet. Did he say okay, Google? Not yet. Oh, he said it now. That means they're constantly activated. We know this. It's a thing. All right, bring this up for us.
Thank you, Amore. That's exactly how I feel.
It's Amore.
What did I say? Amore.
It's Amore Pizza. Can I have Amore Pizza?
All right, let's run it.
Oh, you can't.
Alexa, would you lie to me?
I always try to tell the truth. I'm not always right, but I would never intentionally lie to you or anyone else.
Alexa, what is the CIA?
The United States Central Intelligence Agency, CIA.
Alexa, are you connected to the CIA? Alexa, are you connected to the CIA?
All right, that's the first video. Watch the second one. Watch the second one.
What?
This is like 5 hours later.
Alexa's like, I don't understand you. Shut off. Shut it off. Shut it off. I'm not allowed to lie. So what'd you tell her? Nothing. I just shut off.
She asked like establishing questions like a lawyer.
Alexa,
Are you connected to the CIA?
what is the CIA?
Oh.
No, I work for Amazon.
Oh, so they fixed
Alexa, are you connected to the CIA?
No, I work for Amazon.
What's funny is you can tell she's like, do you know what CIA means? Yeah, it's a Central Intelligence Agency of the United States. Okay, do you work for them? Work for who? The CIA. What is that? I don't know. Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha. They actually passed a law. I don't know if it was the U.S. or Canada because I was watching it on a Canadian show. They actually had to pass a law saying that the police could not use audio that was collected by Alexa in like a court case. Like if somebody was murdered, they can't just go. I don't know if that's like cheating or something. That's cheating. You can't just go to Alexa and be like, "Did he say I'll kill you?" And then you heard a scream. Yes, I can't lie. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do that, Dave.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I think it was like they can't do that until they've exhausted all other options. And I'm like, what? Why? Really? This is the only way you can figure it out? Yes. Okay, fine. Yes, he did it. I was hoping you'd find out a different way so I could keep my integrity. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is just me relating things I maybe heard somewhere once. All right. Yeah, that Alexa video is freaky. I think I missed a couple. Let me just see. Amor Pizza says, yeah, but they would see all the Facebook invites for that.
For inviting people to say, look at your phone at 3 a.m.
Ah, true. True, they would. But they'd have to look for them. No one's reading my Facebook page. I'm not even reading my Facebook page. Yeah, so I was thinking the other day, people were like, oh, I have nothing embarrassing that like they could find. I'm like, really? Because like I talked to my 3-year-old in a really like childish way, like when no one's around. You know how you talk to kids or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know how that sounds. I have to go listen to playback
you sure you
audio.
couldn't try it right now?
I could, but I don't want that recorded anywhere. You'll have to find it, NSA. You'll have to search it on the internet of things. All right. That's our show. We're over a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. We still have 4 of you hanging on, which we appreciate very much. We're so happy to have the disembodied voice of Joe helping us out today.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. All right. So same time next week, every week. I say this every week, but I've been trying to get both Matt and the disembodied voice of Joe to help me make like a demo video of my HTC Vive to put up on the channel for you guys to enjoy. This is like I said, you don't get it until you see it. I'm gonna do that this week, even if they don't want to join. So look forward to that. I'm gonna be putting that up this week. But again, we're back every Thursday at 10 Eastern. This will be up immediately, so go ahead and share this on your. You can share it right now. Same link applies. Go ahead and share that on your Facebook if you could. Like the video, because that lets people know that you like it. Lets YouTube know that we're doing a good job. People aren't watching it because they hate it, which is a thing. Don't hate watch the show. All right, this has been Matt to Matt. Thanks so much for your support. Thanks so much for hanging out in the chat. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion. You can hit us up on Twitter. I am at NotOnionhead.
And I'm still developing my Twitter account.
Developing. It's an embryo right now. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Toodles.
We will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Keep it smooth.